I think this is a small price to pay for a little comfort.
I guess I maybe disagree a bit that, there are many resellers of used mattresses in communities, and, do you have a cost what it's going to be to do this to each mattress, or there will have to be an industry built around creating the equipment, sterilization, whatnot, to do this for each mattress?
Naturally, wouldn't you expect that to be done when you buy something from the store that's pictured as new? Wouldn't you expect some level of standard of sale?
Pardon
or
me?
would you, and when you buy a mattress that's received as new, wouldn't you expect it to be new if you put your baby on it?
Well, Representative, I'm not addressing the new side of it. I'm addressing the used side of it, where people take, like I might take a mattress from my house to a thrift store for them to resell as used. No claim made that it's new. And I think that meets the need of a lot of people who can't afford a new mattress. And the facility I'm talking about, puts about $3 million every couple of years into my community.
Yes, sir.
And they say this will absolutely stop them from being able to resell.
Now, you said a thrift store. Is this their primary focus of business?
It's their only focus of business.
Just thrift mattresses?
No, they have many. They have lots of things. But as people in the community renovate, whatever, they bring their mattresses to this facility to have them resold. I mean, along with refrigerators and shirts and plates and washing machines and all that kind of stuff.
With all due respect, Representative, when I line up studs for 16 inches on center, I have to make an investment to make sure that I can span the distance according to code. It might cost me a little bit more money to meet code in that particular residential structure, but I'm expected to make code, and I have to make an investment to make sure that my product is safe. I think one for which a mattress is going to go into a home and you're going to center your family around that, I think that is a high priority item. I think that parents, that's almost just like the nucleus of a house. You have your kitchen and you have your bedrooms, and those are two of the most important factors in real estate. How many bedrooms does a house have? How many bathrooms? What's the kitchen like? And we have to make sure that some items we hold are sacred, such as our mattresses.
How much, we still keep talking, how much do you figure this will cost per mattress?
I don't have the data on the actual cleaning process of the mattress. All I can tell you is that pre-1996, Georgia was doing that, and since we stopped, these folks have just run amok and really disenfranchised a lot of people. I mean, I have a 4-year-old son who just actually fell off some monkey bars yesterday morning. I'm kind of worried about him right now. But I'd be pretty upset if I brought my baby home, whether if I can afford it or not. I just want to know. And I put him on a mattress, and I found out he was sleeping on one where fecal matter was on, or something that some prostitute got raped on, and there's some blood on it. And these are the kind of things that have been happening in my district. And I'm sorry for being so graphic. I apologize to this committee. But when I'm on TV fussing about legislation that's germane to this state, it's usually something serious or way past the mark of serious. We don't bring any frivolous bills in front of the state of Georgia. So I think it's a good bill. I don't have the per cost item. In addition to that, the state's not ready with their numbers. But if you guys, I'm at the mercy of this committee as to what to do with that, and we can pass some good legislation for Georgia.
Would you be amenable to have an amendment that would make a distinction between a used in a thrift store and a reseller of and remanufacturer of new product?
I'm open to anything, Representative, that we can actually do to keep folks informed of what they're purchasing. I think that is totally dishonest and unscrupulous and an embarrassment of Georgia that you can go in the store and buy a mattress, and that manufacturer ought to want to make the investment that their product that they're sending home to their customers. I think we aim to have repeat customers in business. So I think that particular retailer would be obliged to make sure that the product that they're selling, your great constituents, I'm pretty sure, I know you love your constituents, when you want them to sleep on a safe mattress. I know I do for mine, and I'll fight for that. So if you want to actually do something or add an amendment to this particular bill that specifies that maybe we can put a used label on this mattress. These mattresses come from used materials. I'm totally open with that. But at least we have some knowledge from the customer. So a customer needs to know, I'm going to buy a mattress laced with fleas. That's a tag for that. I'm going to buy a sanitized new mattress. There's a tag for that. And so with her and you guys, we can all figure that out, hopefully so, and you can point me in the right direction, because one thing I know is I don't know everything, and I'm here to.
Hang on a minute. Where we hung up at? And everybody in here thinks it like you do, except we got to get it where thrift stores, I mean, when you walk in a thrift store, you kind of know that it's secondhand. And you don't want to mess with Goodwill or Thrift or Salvation Army, anybody like that. That's where you getting at, right, Rick?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, the problem that I see is that some of these mattresses are just not fire retardant, and if we catch some fires and stuff, it's costing a lot of resources as far as our local services. When these mattresses catch a fire, the news channel did a report and burned one, and it showed a comparison between a mattress that used fire retardant and one that didn't, and it was quite impressive.
Let me, Representative Long, what about, would you, if you go line 67, I mean, do we really need to put the words made of new material? I mean, if we can just, because at the end of the day, we're going to assume, therefore, when we're buying a new mattress, it's new, and if it's not, then you've got to go in and label it made of used materials, or whatever the wording we come up with to help solve the problem. I mean, why are we putting made of new material? I mean, if it's a brand new mattress, we shouldn't be tagging it, I guess is what I'm getting at, to try to help streamline this a little bit.
The second line right there says made of, I mean, is it basically stating new material and then going back and saying, you know, as an option you have previously used material?
Well,
are those two different separate?
Yeah, those are two different separate. I mean, you've got the words made of new material has to be on, and then made of previously used material, and
would specify a used mattress, right, sir?
correct. So we don't need to put in a made of new materials. What I'm saying.
Okay, so they need to specify previously used material. Okay,
Yeah.
That would be a great amendment. I have no problem with that, Chairman. I should have known you'd come up with something so witty, being in all your great wisdom, sir.
Yeah.
That would be.
Sidney, why are you laughing so much back?
Yeah, it seemed like she stumbled upon something new.
I was going to suggest it on line 50,
Yes, sir.
right after the word bedding. Insert, for the balance of that, insert, well, make it line 50 read, no person shall sell a used article of bedding, and then put it which has not been tagged as used, period. That would address Rick's concern.
Not been sterilized. Would that usurp the process on the actual?
That would do away with the requirement that it be sterilized. If somebody wanted to buy it, then sterilize it, that'd be their expense. But that wouldn't prohibit the thrift store from selling. Then they can say whether they want to sterilize it or not.
If we can actually leave this body and the actual people who sell used materials had to place warnings on their mattresses saying these materials are used, I think we won the ball game right there. I really do. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we look at line 69, simply take off or the word secondhand and put a B, and just leave A like it is. Put B that no article used or secondhand may be sold without tags stating so. And then all they got to do is thrift store is put a tag on it that says used or secondhand.
What about the itemized process, with all due respect, Chairman, where it goes down to actually state the process of sterilization or basically labeling the materials that are used in the mattress? When we say used material, I mean, do we still specify that they be forthcoming with what they're putting in the mattress?
I don't think so, because you don't know what's in that mattress. If it's been used and it's come in the thrift store, and if they mark it as used, the buyer isn't aware, and I think that's fine.
Okay.
Let me get the commission.
Mr. Chairman, real quick, that section 4, I thought, my interpretation of it is that's what that was
whichever one of those apply.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it was new, it would say new. If it was made of used material, it would say that. Or if it was secondhand or used, then the tag would say that. That's the way that I read it.
Which,
Then we don't need to put them on new ones.
Right.
And this ain't gotta be an embroidered tag, it can be a stamp on the weather report you got, right? On what?
it goes through the measurements of the tag down in the last parts of the bill,
Could be stamped.
4 inches.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Long, members of the committee, I share the passion with Representative Long about protecting consumers. I really do. I also, every one of y'all know, we've been in this room a bunch of times over the past number of years and hear agency head come in. You know, our job's to do whatever y'all equip us to do, we're prepared to do. When OPB called us in November and said, won't y'all get an elevator inspection business? I said, well, don't know much about elevators, but we know a little something about managing people, and we'll try to get a team together to do it. Now, since then, that's been divided up everywhere, so looks like we're not going to be in the elevator business. We can get the mattress business, especially in consumer, additional consumer protection, but here's two things that a couple things I ask you to consider. First of all is, if you tell us that you want us to do something in food safety that is an addition to our duties, then we can add that to our duties because we have food safety inspectors. If you tell us you want us more market news reporters in sale barns, or you want those market news reporters to do something else in a sale barn, we can add that, and we can do that every day. We can do this. We sure can. And but I don't know who we're going to do it with, and that's not an excuse. It's just simply what I like to do, and we've done our best effort to try to get you a cost of what it takes to go do things, and that's not inflated like we ain't playing games with you on that.
I know.
That's our best effort, and yeah, it probably is. I think that's on the high side. It's going, because we tried to say, well, what if? I'd rather anticipate rather than say, whoops, a few months later. And I'm not trying to mess with Representative Bill, but I do know that Representative Maddox had a great bill on veterinarians, and that we passed policy, but we never did fund it. And the policy is there until we can get something funded. I don't know who we're going to do this with. Now, we can do it, but we'll do one of two things. Either we can help when we get to conference and get a better number and refine it down, or tee something up so that when you do fund it, we'll be ready to go. And I didn't make that plea to you, because I don't think you want us pulling food safety people off to go do this. I don't think y'all tell us what your priorities are, and direct the resources where you want to go. And I think y'all know we're doing a little bit better job of managing our resources now. We're doing more with less. We did our 2% cut, and we can continue to find some economy. I'm satisfied we're just through the first layer of it here. But that's my biggest. Seems like everybody always comes and whines about, well, y'all didn't give us any money. And I don't want to come off that way. But it's a reality. If y'all want to direct the program and build the program off the Representative Bill, we're happy to do it. But I'd love to sit down and let's construct a real good business plan. But we don't want to ready fire aim. You don't know me very well, but I don't ready fire aim. We'll get us a business plan and we'll operate on the business plan.
That sounds like you need some money.
I'm committed to do whatever I'd like to do.
Who work is your complaint?
Mr. Chairman, yes, before he, listen, if we have a place called a thrift store, a Goodwill, you go in there, you're not gonna find things new anyway. They're already stuff that people give, and that, you expect it to be secondhand or used. Does the government, the Department of Agriculture have to go in there and inspect that if it's?
Under this bill, I think it would put us in there.
They're selling it in some of these stores under the guise that they're new. These were labeled new, and that should be against the law.
And see that, boy, from a policy standpoint,
Yes.
all I want to figure out is how we're going to get there. If you want us to go do it, then let's put the tools on the table, and because somebody doing that, that's just not right.
They've been doing that. They've been selling them under the guise, bamboozling folks under the guise that these are new. So regardless of the thrift, you can go in some thrift stores and then sometimes they have a little box or something and they say, oh, this is brand new out the box. So, yeah, well, there's some unscrupulous people out there. And this particular fellow needs to actually, who was in my district, needs to visit one of our facilities. But we don't have, he hasn't broken any laws selling these mattresses to people under the guise that they're new, because we don't have any regulation of the mattress industry. Zero. No regulation, period. So I can sell a mattress to you in a thrift store in a used section with a new tag on it, and I could just say, I just wrote some stuff on this tag and guarantee all the stuff in there, and I still haven't violated the law because there's no regulation with it, except for the fact that maybe I lied to you.
Let me let the commissioner make Brad, you got anybody else want to talk about this?
Somebody was supposed to fly down from the industry because they mainly had a concern about the actual $250 fee right there, but if they're not here, then hey, you know, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like one more brief point, Mr. Chairman, and it's sort of, it's in this family of discussion when it comes to where resources go and where we like to go at this department. There was a major food concern in this, I promise this, I'm not apples and oranges on you, but I think
Yeah, you shooting torpedoes over there though, but that's okay.
Major food concern first part of this year, last part of last year that came under a real FDA found not suitable things. Okay, FDA could have swooped in and shut it down, and then there've been jobs lost, business out of business, there've been food destroyed. We partnered with FDA because of our relationship we built, particularly the last year. We went into this place, we said, well, here's a way we could keep the place in business. We can put some of our people on the team here to help them clean up, help mitigate the situation, get clean food to the food banks. And ladies and gentlemen, we've done all that. Then we said, okay, what's the give in here? Instead of FDA fining them, they said, we'd like to contract with y'all to do it. So we put some of our food inspectors in there so it's not the federal government, because it's us dealing with state business. We kept the business open. And then they wrote us a check for $88,000. And this is a good example of where I sure would love to have y'all's help on these kind of things in the future, because I think the conference in 12, we're not going to get that $88,000 back. And it's federal government money. It wasn't the state's money. And so we could have gone in there and been good stewards of that. And that's where I just want you to know, when I'm gonna have you a plan. I'm gonna have a good business plan, and that's what I'm committed to do on this. And if I'm whining about the $88,000, that thing's a little raw on me today. But and I know we're trying to find money everywhere, and that's fine. But we could have walked away from that food thing, and a business has been shut down. And now we're out there, and that's fine. We grow up and take that. But I just want you to know, I'm gonna fight for our folks, and I want y'all to know we always gonna have a good business plan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Representative.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm on it. You know, I think I agree with everybody that the remanufacturing of mattresses, no one likes. It's dirty business and it's misleading. I agree, but to me, your bill throws such a wide net that it catches the thrift stores, the Goodwills. I think for the majority, I'm sure there are instances where there are disreputable people in every business, but for the most part, we go into a Goodwill, the Pickens County thrift store, whatever, we know we're buying a used product. And I think people in the communities like doing that.
I don't think news channels invest thousands of dollars for tests and things like that just for frivolous claims.
I didn't say that.
Well, I actually disagree with you. There are some scrupulous people out there, and there's some very unscrupulous people out there who are taking advantage of this zero regulation that we have in this industry. And what we have to realize a lot of times when things hit the screen sometimes, it's past that point. We get embarrassed all the time in this state for, the peanut industry or different industries right here. I just don't want us to get our hands caught with our pants down on this particular issue, then the state gets sued because we failed to enact. We failed to actually do something. And we're about that point right there, because the woman said her children had nosebleeds from sleeping on these mattresses. And some of these folks, I mean, that was a lot of stuff found on these mattresses. So I'm at the mercy of this committee right here. I think that if you're going to be selling a used mattress anywhere in Georgia, whether thrift store or not, you shouldn't be able to label that particular item as new and sell it to unsuspecting people. I think that's a rural versus urban area kind of thing. I think that's a code of honor, a code of respect. When I pull that mattress out of your store and you sold it under the guise that it was new, then it had better be new, especially if my child's going to sleep on it. That's all I'm saying.
Reverend Long,
Yes, sir.
one half-decent quality of a half-decent chairman is to be able to count votes.
Yes, sir.
We got time.
Okay.
Can we get y'all together and get some of this language fixed?
Absolutely.
We all like what you do aiming at.
Okay.
There's no problem with that.
No problem. I understand.
But I don't think you got the vote right now.
With Representative, would you be satisfied with his my chairman from Transportation's actual change? Because I think that address. So you just basically don't want regulation, period, on the. Is that what you're aiming?
No, I'd like to do as chairman of the committee said, sit down with you and try to work to an amicable point.
Can I ask, Mr. Chairman, what amicable? Do you have a specific?
Well, I want to make sure, I'm just a straight-up guy. I mean, I want to make sure that thrift stores throughout this state have the ability to sell used mattresses without having to run them through a process of unknown cost and expense to them, because they are serving a part of our public, which I know we all know well, that can't afford $125 for. We don't know what this costs, how much it's going to be to sterilize a mattress. And if we can do something as simple as labeling it as used, period, and that's it, and you know what you're buying, a used car, a used
I think we've had that. I think in this body right here, for the sake of time, because we're just running and ripping all over this building right here, I think within this body right here, we've just modified the language to accommodate your concerns right there. If you can come up with a specific language right now.
I can't do it right now. I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to make sure I protect those industries.
Okay.
I'll do it like the chairman said.
If it's okay, I'd like to make a motion to table this bill until we have time for them to work it out and bring it back to the league.
All in favor of tabling it until they get together, or everybody's involved together. We bring it back. We got time for it.
Okay, no problem, Mr. Chairman. I'm up under.
I think I got the impression from the commissioner, they might want to have some input on how they would go about.
I'm going.
Okay, okay.
Y'all can get together.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman. Well, I appreciate you.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, bad line.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Look, we're going to get fixed.
I appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
House Bill 746.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a House Bill 746, which is a Department of Ag bill. Simple little bill in comparison to some of the others we've discussed. What this bill basically deals with is the timeline for administrative hearing decisions to be rendered from the Department of Commissioner of Agriculture's office. The language is currently written. What happens is basically if the Department of Agriculture goes out and they find in enforcing the statutes of the state, find violations and suspend permits or licenses or institute a fine, there's a process by which there's an initial action filed and an administrative hearing officer hears the case and a decision is rendered. Well, then the person or aggrieved or injured party can file basically like an appeal and ask for the commissioner to look at it. And this deals with that second tier. And as you see, the language is stricken. The way it was currently drafted, it says the commissioner's decision must be rendered not later than 30 days following the date the initial decision was issued. A little bit of a hang-up there is that you actually have 30 days from which to file and ask for the commissioner to render a decision on it. So they feel like that, so you have to make application for the commissioner to review the initial decision. So what this would do is clear up the language and make it read that the commissioner's final decision, which would distinguish it from the initial decision, would be rendered not later than 30 days from the date the person actually filed an application for final review by the commissioner. And then includes the language unless that period is extended, because under the subsection, depending on the complexity of the issue, the commissioner has the right to extend that 30-day period to make his final decision. Once the commissioner does review the initial decision upon application of the injured party, issues a final decision, then there's basically yet another step where you can ask for reconsideration. And that is the second part of that. And what we're clearing up is just to clarify the language, because under that subsection 6, it's actually in the section that is dealing with the reconsideration. But before, it had originally just said the commissioner's decision, which is kind of confusing because you almost want to think, it's indistinguishable from the commissioner's final decision. So we're just adding the word reconsideration to clarify that section, so that you know that it's dealing with the third tier, the reconsideration phase of that.
Anybody got any questions?